Okay, more than 300 South Koreans working at a Georgia Hyundai plant could soon be sent back home as soon as today. The U.S. immigration officials raided the plant last week. They detained nearly 500 people they say were in this country illegally. CBS News correspondent Skyler Henry joins me live from Atlanta to talk more about this. So, Skyler, what's the status of the flight home? I hear there might be questions as to whether or not it's even going to be able to take those Koreans back.
Yeah, to put it mildly, Vlad, this situation is fluid based off of what we have heard from Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport's public information officer and based off of what we've been seeing happening, especially down in Folkston, Georgia. That is the detention center where most of these Koreans who were rounded up last Thursday were brought to near the Florida-Georgia line. It takes about 5 hours or so to get up here. The expectation is that they will be bused here to the airport and then brought on to a Korean air flight that actually just landed a short time ago, and then at some point be able to repatriate back to South Korea. And we are still learning more as to the nature of this detention process in the first place, why this happened, why so many Korean nationals were apprehended in the first place, because remember, none of them were charged with anything. We spoke with an immigration lawyer about that just yesterday to get a little bit more context and the fact that he represents more than a dozen of those who were detained. He calls this situation more than messy, saying that ICE used a bit more force than necessary, going after perhaps folks that they had on their radar, at least according to a search warrant that we were able to get our hands on last week, but saying that they didn't get the folks that they were looking for and instead apprehended most of these Korean nationals. We know that officials are here in the U.S. from South Korea, expected to speak with those in Washington. That includes Secretary of State Marco Rubio and others to get a little more context as to why this happened in the first place. But many here in the state of Georgia wondering what's going on, what went wrong, especially considering that the site in which those Koreans were arrested is considered the largest economic project in the state's history. It was something that is highly touted. We heard from Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, who has touted this project. We have seen the numbers. It is expected to bring hundreds of jobs to the area, produce billions of dollars. And to keep in mind that this isn't exactly the Hyundai site itself. It's part of the mega plant site, but this is for the LG electronic vehicle batteries. This is where most of these detainees were apprehended in the first place.
Skyler Henry breaking it down for us from Atlanta, Georgia this morning. Skyler, thank you.